Come on, let's do it.
Well, the truth is...
I'm not gonna lie. The clips I've been seeing, bro, this nigga is, like, speaking on, like, he's telling it all.
That the CIA has the highest divorce rate in all of government because you are trained to lie, and you lie all day, every day. And a lot of guys can't turn it off when they go home at night. Well, I was one of 14 people asked if I wanted to be trained in the use of what they called enhanced interrogation techniques. I was the only one of the 14 who said no. Besides being immoral and unethical, I thought it was illegal. It was illegal. Bush is saying, no, we don't torture. He looks in the camera, we do not torture. It's all a lie. Well, I said that the CIA was torturing its prisoners, that torture was a fit.
What the fuck? Like, I don't think y'all understand what the fuck he's actually saying, though. Like, y'all don't really understand. I don't think y'all really understand what the fuck going on, bro. Y'all look at this shit, y'all looking at this man as comedy. Like, oh, he's so fucking funny. He was born to be a comedian, but became, you know that shit that I be saying. But that shit's stupid. This nigga is telling y'all real shit, and y'all just sitting up here. I ain't gonna lie, some of the shit he say it be funny as fuck. But bro, this nigga is dead the fuck serious, and y'all should be dead the fuck serious with him. Like, bro, y'all should be, like, this shit is serious, bro. This is the so-called system that you can trust. This is America. You can trust America. No, you cannot. This shit is for real, man.
Official policy, and that the policy had been personally approved by the president himself. The president was a bald-faced liar.
Everybody knows this.
One of my former bosses called me and said, you know the shit's gonna hit the fan now, right? And I said, I know, I'm ready for it. You know, everybody comes out of prison with PTSD, everybody. I believe very strongly that he was an Israeli access agent.
Did he work for the CIA?
No way.
You a good liar?
I think I am a good liar, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Carlos Watson. I've come to Washington, D.C. to have one of the most important conversations I've ever had. It's with former top spy John Kiriakou, and he dishes on everything. Who actually killed President Kennedy, whether or not torture is still going on, and whether Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. You don't want to miss this.
He is back. Emmy Award-winning journalist. He's interviewed presidents, rebels, icons, thinkers. He is Carlos Watson.
Take me all the way back. So you grew up where?
I grew up in Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Low quiet town.
Very quiet, dying, dead now, coal mine, and that was pretty much it. When I was 9, I told my parents that I wanted to be a spy when I grew up. And they thought that was kind of cute, and they bought me walkie-talkies and disappearing ink, you know, little kid stuff. But then when I was 16, and I remember this very specifically, my dad and I were driving down Old Plank Road past Fraser's Pond. And I said, Dad, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I decided I want to be a spy in the Middle East. And he's like, oh, still with the spy? Can't you be like a dentist or something? And I said, I want to be a spy, and I want to live in the Middle East. He's like, why? We've never been to the Middle East. And I said, I love their culture and their heritage and their poetry and their food and the sound of their language. I just want to immerse myself in it. So I only applied to George Washington University because they were one of 3 schools in the country that had a Middle Eastern studies program. And so my dad got an application to Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, where he got his PhD. And he said, they have a terrific Soviet studies program, and and you can learn to speak Russian. I said, I don't want to learn to speak Russian. I don't care about Russia. I said, I want to go to like Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Oman, you know? So I never sent in the PIT application. I only applied to GW, and he said, what if you don't get in? I said, oh, I'm going to get in. And I did. And then I got my bachelor's degree in Middle Eastern studies, but my specific concentration was Islamic theology. I hit the sweet spot at GW because...
I ain't gonna lie, chat. Let y'all know something for real. Oh, by the way, I just heard some like crazy news. Mental health is a real thing, gang. Especially when it comes down to like men. Like us, is real, gang. Cause don't nobody give a fuck about us. Allegedly, I'm hearing Lil Papa. You know what? Suicide. That's what I'm hearing on the internet. That's what I'm seeing. And it's crazy. It's real. I remember it was a point in time in my life, not too long ago, man. I wanted to take myself out, bro. And sometimes I still get a feeling, like, listen to me, like, real shit. Sometimes I get a feeling, not a feeling, but a thought in my head to, like, I want to erase my existence. But I fight so hard to just, let's not think like that, because we better than that, we stronger than that, and that ain't nothing but a that's a weak entity in my head or voice, however you want to put it, telling me to do some shit that I know that I'm 100 times stronger than. So, bro, on some real shit, bro, take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Hold yourself down, gang. Just be focused and just try your hardest to be happy, bro. Yeah, it was time, bro. I was a kid thinking about, like, going to my grave, gang. Like, I wanted to quit this shit so many times. And I'm talking about life. I'm not talking about streaming. I'm talking about life. Like, you know? Just know, it's hard. It's really hard for us out here. No. Like, this shit. It's not the way to live, gang. It's just not.
You went into all this, you're telling me, knowing you were going to be a spy. You're saying in the way that kids know they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer from when you were not, and because of a movie or TV show, or like what happened?
I wanted to be a doctor until I found out how all this shit is when I was in high school. Oh man, fuck that shit. I want to do that
No.
shit.
I don't know. My brother and I used to go around the neighborhood with the walkie-talkies, like reporting on what the neighbors were doing, right? And then we would write notes to ourselves. But I do remember we went to my grandparents' house for Christmas, 1975. So I was 11. And when we got there, my dad said, my grandfather says, did you see the news? And my dad says, what? He said, they killed the CIA man in Athens. And my dad said, no, I didn't see that. And I immediately perked up. And I said, what do you mean? What happened? And he said, there's some group, they killed the CIA man in Athens. And my grandfather said, he must have been spying on Greece. And my dad said, and even today I think, how did my dad know that? But my dad said, oh no, Dad, we have CIA people all around the world and they work with those governments. He probably wasn't spying on Greece, and he wasn't. But I was like, oh, I was so excited, like, that's what I want to do. And then...
No. I ain't gonna lie, this nigga is crazy, though. Like, I ain't gonna lie, his humor is top tier. His sense of humor with his stories. Like, he know how to make you sit down and just like, you know what I mean? And you just be entertained about every word that fly out of his mouth. He's very fucking entertaining, but I'm telling y'all, he's saying some real shit. He telling you what's going on. He telling you about the system that they done put us in, to fuck us up. He's telling y'all what's going on.
30 years later, I'm in Greece working on the 17 November task force to try to find the killers of Station Chief Richard Welch.
And here's where the dream becomes real. The boy gets his shot, but dreams in the intelligence world come with a price. And so, how good a spy were you?
I'll tell you my station chief's words rather than my own. I'm very proud of this. He put me aside one day and he said, I've been in the agency for 25 years and I've made 9 quality recruitments. I remember every single one of them. He said, you've been here for 2 years and you've recruited 5 people, badasses, terrorists. He said, you have a knack for this. And I told him, I have never in my life been so happy and fulfilled in a job as I am here.
Really? And why? What about it was fulfilling?
I don't know. A couple of little things. Every single day, it was something different. I remember telling my then girlfriend, who became my second wife, I remember telling her, I can't wait to get to work in the morning. I can't wait to see what I've missed from overnight. I remember.
How long did that last for? Because that is a very special thing, and I think I've only had that like once or twice in life, and it wasn't actually work. It was summer school in 3rd grade when I had 2 great friends, and I couldn't wait to get to summer school because I thought that with Peter and Denyo, something magical could happen that day. But I haven't had that very often. I don't think most people have.
No, I think most people have it.
How long did you have
that? Lasted for 15 years for me.
So for 15 years, you were fired up to go to work.
Yeah, I remember I was at the agency
I need that type of shit.
8 months. And it's August 2nd, 1990. The Iraqis have just invaded Kuwait 4 hours earlier. I get to the office early, and my boss says, don't take your jacket off. We're going to go to the White House. I said, cool. I've never been to the White House. I mean, as a tourist I had, but I'd never been there like for business. We get in the car. It's about 7 a.m, drive to the White House. This Marine is there at the door, the West Wing. He escorts us in straight into the Oval Office. There's the president, the vice president, the national security advisor, the CIA director, and then my boss and me. The president says, gentlemen, please sit. So we all sit. President and the vice president are in these really comfortable, like wingback chairs. The national security advisor and the CIA director are in these like less comfortable looking, like dining room chairs. And my boss and I are on the couch. So we're sitting there and I'm looking around. And I remember saying to myself, my friends would never believe me if I told them where I was right now. Never believe me. So the president says, well, now what do we do? And then everybody turns and looks at me. And it took me a second. And I said, Mr. President, as you know, Iraqi troops, I have chills right now thinking of it, just remembering it. I said, Iraqi troops crossed the Kuwaiti border at 2 o'clock in the morning. They seized the entirety of Kuwait. The royal family has fled to Saudi Arabia, blah, 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 blah. And he says, do we know who is in charge in Kuwait right now? I said, yes, sir, we do. The Iraqis made an announcement that Dr. Ahmed Khatib is now the occupation governor of Iraq. Do we know anything about him? I said, yes, sir. I had actually written an article about him a month earlier just because he was interesting to me. I said, yes, sir. He's a medical doctor. He hates the royal family because his mother was a slave in the household of the royal family. They had slaves.
See what I'm saying? Shit deep, man. This shit is deep. By now, we all know about the royal family, man. Ain't shit royal about them family. About they family. Ain't no motherfucking thing royal about them people. Nothing.
Slavery until 1955 in the on the Arabian Peninsula. So I said she was a Sudanese slave. To sort of make up for it, once slavery ended, they sent Ahmed to the American University of Beirut. He trained there as a doctor, but his college roommate was Georges Habash, and together they founded the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. And the vice president says, "Jesus Christ," like that. And the president just goes like this, and he says, "Gentlemen, thank you. That'll be enough. I need to think about this." Well, later that afternoon, Margaret Thatcher, famously now, called him. He genuinely didn't know what to do.
And you're talking about Papa Bush.
Papa Bush.
Yeah.
And she said, "George, now's not the time to go wobbly." Next thing you know, we have 6 aircraft carrier battle groups on their way to the Gulf, 250,000 ground troops, and we liberated Kuwait, February 1991.
Wow. Yeah. And you played a role in that were you 30 yet?
I was 26.
And was there any part of you, it's like, I shouldn't be here, I don't really know what I'm saying?
Oh, everybody has imposter syndrome. All of us did. I remember thinking, why me? Who am I? I'm just some guy from Pennsylvania. And here I am sitting with the president, telling the president what to do.
So why you? I mean, like, real talk. I can tell you exactly. Why at 26 were you sitting in there talking about war?
I am the luckiest guy in the agency. Seriously, people tell me all the time, "Oh my God, you're such a great storyteller." Thank you. Yes, maybe I am. But I'm also incredibly lucky. I found myself in these historic situations over the years. Historic. And,
My bad, Chuck. I'm trying to... Yeah. Lil Papa, he dead. Yeah. Oh my God, this shit is sure. Suicide. Chat. I'm just saying, all I'm saying, when they go start giving a fuck about us stuff. Y'all think this shit a game until y'all be thinking a nigga playing until this shit to a nigga like gone. Like, bro, people don't give a fuck about us, guys.
I've been able to vocalize them.
For 15 years, John Kiriakou loved his work, but then came the day that changed his life, 9/11. Like, I know that torture and the question around torture ends up becoming a place where you raise your hand and where you object. And I know that ultimately metastasized, but just give us a version of that for people who don't know the story.
Well, I was one of 14 people asked if I wanted to be trained in the use of what they called enhanced interrogation techniques. I was the only one of the 14 who said no. I believed it was illegal. Besides being immoral and unethical, I thought it was illegal. It was illegal. It was clearly illegal. Any moron can read the law that we wrote, the Federal Torture Act of 1946. Anybody can read the United Nations Convention Against Torture and Cruel and Inhumane Treatment. And I mean, it doesn't get any clearer clearer than that.
Take me through torture. So you're one of 14 people who they ask, do you want to get trained in this? And you're like, no, it's illegal. Take me.
Yeah. A buddy of mine in the counterterrorism center who happened to be a psychiatrist, MD, PhD, and a brigadier general in the army. And we go to the same church and we're in the same men's group. He said to me one day, buddy, you know they call you the human rights guy behind your back. And I said, yeah, I know. And he said, you know that's not a compliment, right? And I said, Steve, I'm right and they're wrong. And I'm comfortable with my position. Well, that was not the popular position to take. And so they kind of squeezed me out, but I had done so well in Pakistan that I became the executive assistant to the deputy director for operations. So my career just continued to go straight up.
So that was a big deal, though, to raise your hand on a question of principle.
I was the only one.
And your career still keeps going well?
Because I had a rabbi who...
My dad always says that. My dad always says, you don't need a mentor, you need a rabbi or an angel.
That's it.
Yeah.
He sat above the guys making these torture decisions. And he said, don't worry about it. And he said, you did the right thing. He called it a slippery slope. He said, you know how these guys are. Somebody's going to kill a prisoner, and then they're going to go to prison.
And what exactly were they doing? Like, I've heard the word waterboarding, but like for someone who, again, has never been in the room.
Okay, so let's say you are laying on this slab of granite right here, but it's slightly elevated, so your feet are a little bit higher than your head. They'll wrap your face and head in material, a towel, whatever, tie you down so you can't move, and then pour water on your face. So water gets in your mouth, you start to drown. In the case of Abu Zubaydah, he actually did drown. His heart stopped. He had to be revived so they can torture him more. What is that? That's who we want to be, right? Ronald Reagan said, we're a shining city on a hill. We're this shining beacon of hope for human rights and civil liberties. Are we really?
But I know some people, and I'm assuming Dick Cheney types, came to you and said, come on, John, cut the shit.
And I said, if you want to be for torture, knock yourself out. But you have to change the law because the law is clear. We executed Japanese soldiers who had waterboarded American POWs in the Second World War. That was a death penalty crime. In January of 1968, the Washington Post ran a front page photograph of an American soldier waterboarding a North Vietnamese prisoner. Robert S. McNamara was the Secretary of Defense. He ordered an investigation. That soldier was arrested. He was convicted of torture and sent to Leavenworth for 20 years.
Damn.
But then in 2002, no, it's fine. It's all legal.
But help people who are at home. Because
So
here's
when
what they're
I'm born, they want to make the shit legal. Like, what the fuck?
They're hearing, we got bombed
When I
in
land
multiple
on
places.
this
They
planet,
could do it
they wanna
again,
make
and they
it-
want to do it again. They've got all sorts of weaponry that we don't know about. And it could happen at an airport, it could happen at a school, it could happen anywhere.
Yeah,
And so if these guys over here have to do whatever they have to do in order to get the information to stop more people from getting hurt, let them do it. And let's not pretend that the world is a fair or easy place. They got to do whatever they've got to do.
Yeah.
And so what do you say to that?
Like in communist China, you mean? Or in the Soviet Union? I don't want to live in that society. We're a nation of laws. And if you don't like the law, we have constitutional mechanisms by which to change it. Don't hide. Be proud that you like torture and you want to torture people. Be proud that you're one of the fathers of a torture program because it's going to be in their obituaries.
Does torture work?
No. See, and that's the biggest thing. Even if you think, well, these guys are really bad, they mean us harm, they're murderers, mass murderers. Okay, fine. It doesn't work. That's why, after I left the agency, I went to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I was the senior investigator there. And I was working for John Kerry. And his office in the Russell Senate office building was directly next to John McCain's. And every single time McCain would see me, he would go out of his way to come and shake my hand and say, "Hi, John, how are you?" I'd say, "I'm great, Senator. How are you doing? Good to see you again." And finally, Kerry said to me one day, "Why don't you and McCain get a room or something?" And I said, "No." I said, "We have a connection over torture because he knows that I'm right. He knows because he lived it. They tortured him and he gave them all shit."
Damn.
They said, "Who are the people in your, battalion or platoon or whatever?" And then he just named the, offensive line of the 1964 Green Bay Packers. So then, when people...
I'm gonna get some water. What the fuck? This is crazy. Stop yelling. Fuck them people, man.
that we're torturing give us this meaningless information. We bogged down analysts for months trying to get through it. What's nonsense? What's real? What's a half-truth? Because they're going to tell you anything they think you want to hear just to get you to stop torturing them.
So when people tell us that they did get real stuff for some of these top guys, you're saying that that's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
That they did not get actionable.
FBI got the actionable intelligence, and the way they did it was by saying, "Would you like a cup of coffee? If you're really good, you tell me what I want to know. I'll let you write a letter to your mom and dad. Would you like a cigarette or an orange?" And you establish a rapport with people and treat them with respect. And the next thing you know, you can't shut them up.
Even seasoned hardcore.
Especially seasoned hardcore terrorists, because they know that the gig is up. So I said this to Abu Zubaydah. I said, "Listen, I am the nicest guy that you're going to meet in this experience. My colleagues are not nice like I am. You know that your life is over. So what's left of it, it can be easy or it can be terrible. It's up to you."
What do you think about torture? Should that be used at all? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it depends on the severity of what they've done. Are you talking about like torturing to get information out?
Torture to get information, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they have some valuable information that, say...
Yeah, it depends on the cruciality of the information that might be needed.
Now, if they, when it's I don't know, take something, steal something, no, I don't think someone would be tortured. But, I mean, if they're a high-value person, they have a lot of information that we need to take down a terrorist or something like that, I think that, it would actually be, it just depends on how far they're willing to go.
I mean... broadly, I would say no, but I'm sure there's a case I could think of where a form of torture would fit this certain crime or whatever. But overall, I think we should steer away from it.
Yep. So how do you end up in jail? How do you, because we're not talking about 30, 40 years ago. We're talking about, post Martin Luther King Jr. and I Have a Dream. You're talking about, post Vietnam, more.
Martin Luther King, we're not going to go in too deep with Martin Luther King, but I lost so much respect for Martin Luther King, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. That nigga was playing both sides like a motherfucker. And that's why he ended up how he ended up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Come on, man. Shush.
Conscience, post Muhammad Ali. So how do you end up in jail? How is that possible?
Brian Ross of ABC News called me and said that he had a source who said that I had tortured Abu Zubaydah. I said that was absolutely untrue. I was Abu Zubaydah. I was the only.
Do y'all have worse man's family members, gang? Drop it in the comments. That shit is calling, they arguing shit like, nigga, hey, bro, get y'all ass on somewhere, man.
Person.
Did he really have it, or was he bullshitting you? He was baiting.
No, he had a source. I ended up going to work for Brian at ABC. I was the counterterrorism consultant at ABC for 3 years. He was telling the truth. So he said, well, you're welcome to come on the show and defend yourself. I had never spoken to a journalist before. I didn't know that was an old trick that they use. So the Red Cross, Amnesty International, and Human Rights Watch had all come out with papers, with studies saying the CIA's got a torture program. And they kept saying, no, 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 there's no torture. Bush is saying, no, we don't torture. He looks in the camera, we do not torture. Okay. It's all a lie. So...
And that's a thing right there, because, bro, they say shit that they don't want us to do, but they do it. You feel what I'm saying? Besides, like, the pedophile shit, I would never do in my life, because it's not, I have a soul, and I'm in line with myself to, I know, like, that is beyond worse. It don't get no worse than that. I'd rather kill somebody in GTA than do that to a kid. Facts. I would rather kill a woman in GTA instead of doing that to a kid. Facts. That's just facts. And I wouldn't even harm a woman unless she's trying to put my life in danger. At that point, I have every right to defend myself. And I don't know why people be trying to make it seem like you shouldn't defend yourself. That's basically what I be hearing from motherfuckers. You shouldn't do this, do that. What if they trying to do it to me? What the fuck you talking about? Shut up. It's okay for them to do it. Y'all ever know, like, I know everybody done been through this shit. Somebody say something about you and they tell you, don't say nothing. You gonna make it worse. No. I ain't gonna make shit worse. No, I'm not. I'm gonna say something to your motherfucking ass, because why are you bothering me? Or why are you trying to pick with me? I'm gonna do something to you. That's just how I am. But I done got to the point where I can like, you know what I'm saying? Look at the bigger picture, but still, if you try to keep going with some shit and you see I'm not bothering you, I'm not worried about you, then that's when I'm going to, okay, this motherfucker ain't gonna stop until I do something to this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? And so, nigga, you have every right to defend for yourself, to step up for yourself, stand up for yourself, say whatever you need to say to clear your name, to get these weird motherfuckers away from you. You got every fucking right. And if anybody mess with you, I'm here to tell you, bro, I won't be mad at you. Nigga, I'm gonna forever rock with you if you knock a motherfucking head off. I would never look at you no different. Now, if you do some shit that you know is wrong, touching kids, doing shit to women without permission, I can't rock with you. I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? It's certain limits. But, like, defending yourself, it ain't no limit with defending yourself for shit like that.
I called Brian. I said, I'll give you your interview. And I decided, whatever he asks me, I'm going to tell the truth.
Because they do shit.
Well, I said that
like, they would, like, the president and shit, and the motherfuckers that control everything, they will literally kill for no reason. They will kill somebody for just speaking their mind. That shit is crazy. That's crazy. Why did you kill it? Why did y'all do that to that person if the person was lying and make up a fake article and shit like, oh they overdosed or something like that, and no damn well they did, y'all ran in their shit and shot them. to death. That's what the fuck be going on, gang. This shit is deeper than what y'all think. Y'all ain't hear shit, chat. Y'all ain't hear shit. It's getting to that point, though. It's still some more shit to get to. Like, bro, it's crazy, bro. They've been watching us ever since we was. Bro, they've been watching us. They watch us have sex. They watch us do everything. They watch us shit, piss. They watch us, bro. Ever since we was a kid. They pay attention to it. It's disgusting, bro.
I was torturing its prisoners, that torture was official policy, and that the policy had been personally approved by the president himself. The president was a bald-faced liar.
You said that?
Yeah. And the president said the next day, it was kind of funny to me. He said, I don't know this man. I've not met this man. I don't know why this man would throw me under the bus.
And was it true? Did you know W?
No, I had never met him. But he was a war criminal. So the FBI began investigating me the very next day, the day after the...
Did you know that that by virtue of you saying that was going to happen? Like, had you been in the apparatus long enough?
Yes.
And so why did you do it? Did you have...
Because I was right. They were criminals. They were breaking the law. We are either going to be a nation of laws or we're not. We're going to be a nation of chaos. And I don't want to be the citizen of a country that exists in a state of chaos. One of my former bosses called me and said, you know the shit's going to hit the fan now, right? And I said, I know. I'm ready for it. And then a retired deputy director of the CIA emailed me. I saved the email as a souvenir. And he said, you've chosen a difficult road. I'm glad somebody did. I only wish I had had the courage to do it myself. So they investigated me for a year, and the Justice Department determined
they investigated him for a year for telling the truth. You see what I'm saying, though? Like, oh my God.
Because we have a law in this country saying that it is illegal to classify a crime, and torture is a crime, that I hadn't committed any crime. 3 weeks later, Barack Obama becomes president. And a couple of weeks after that, John Brennan becomes the Deputy National Security Advisor for Counterterrorism. John and I always hated each other. And he was one of the fathers of the torture program. He was the executive director of the CIA when they came up with it. He was the number 3 in the CIA. He sent a memo to Eric Holder, the new Attorney General, saying, charge him with espionage. And Holder wrote back and said, my people don't think he committed espionage. And Brennan wrote back and said, charge him anyway and make him defend himself. So they investigated me for 3 more years.
That shit crazy.
Tapped my phones, intercepted my emails, followed me everywhere I went for 3 years.
You were aware of this?
I was not. I thought it was over because we got a declination letter from DOJ saying, we found no crime, you're free to go.
But hold on, you're a super sophisticated guy. You followed people yourself.
I was an instructor in surveillance.
And you weren't aware that they were following you for 3 years? They were that good?
Not around my own house. It's just I wasn't looking for it. Overseas, I was constantly looking in my side view mirrors, constantly. Not in Arlington, Virginia.
And you didn't have any friends whispering to you, say, hey, John?
Nobody said a word. So they arrested me in January of 2012, charged me with 5 felonies, including 3 counts of espionage, which can carry the death penalty, I might add. And they waited until I went bankrupt from legal fees, and then they dropped the espionage charges. I hadn't committed espionage. Telling ABC News that the CIA's committing crimes, that's not espionage.
The same shit with Rashad Jamal. He didn't do that shit. Them are fake charges. A lot of people. Tory Lanez, he didn't do that shit. Them are fake charges. Come on, gang. Bro, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Come on. Right. Real shit. Hey, look. Make up some fake charges so if that ever happened to me, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't even got that in me to be nothing like Satan. Do you hear what I'm saying? But I'm going to stand for my people and the kids and the women that actually, you know what I'm saying, on the right path and shit like that. Even if you're on the bad path, gang, I got you. I got you. Because I know they fuck you up. I already know it. I know. Like, it's so much shit that I understand. I understand why you do the things you do. We living in a corrupted world, a fucked up system. It's not meant for us. It's meant to destroy us, stress us out. There's a bunch of illusions they put in our head to make us believe that this will happen if you do this and that, blah, 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 and yada, 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 la, 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 all that shit. That shit bullshit. There's no reason. Fear is fake. Depressed is fake. It's just they get you to believe in it, so you make it real, and you just start going through it. You just start experiencing it, and you like, oh my God, this shit is real. Whole time it's a fucking illusion. If you let's just say if you depressed, nigga, only thing you gotta, if you just, how can I put this shit? I don't want to sound like stupid, you know, even though I don't care, but I want to make it right to where y'all can just like, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, if you haven't, this is a good one. They put you through shit so the words they say can, yeah, it's real. Like, they make you go to poverty and shit like that. They cause heartbreaking. Like, they control your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or some shit like that. They do shit like that, bro. Like, that shit true. Everything is scripted, believe it or not. You just don't know it. You just don't know it. You don't know it yet. You think this is life. This is not a life. This is a different type of life than what we actually supposed to be living. Facts. Facts. Facts.
So how do you end up inside, though?
Because they told me that they had dropped the charges without prejudice, and if I didn't take a plea, they had to save face. If I didn't take a plea to a lesser charge, they were going to recharge me with espionage. If I'm convicted of espionage, what am I looking at? And they said 12 to 18 years.
And I done been through the worst.
One of my,
I'm telling you,
a little angry with me, and he right in my face, and he said, "You know what your problem is?
Like,
Your problem."
nigga, I was, as a kid, I was in a house with full of, like, my cousin, mama, you know, my aunties, uncles. Nigga, we didn't have no tub in the bathroom, no sink. We didn't have no water. Nigga, I had to bathe in a fucking tub, like a little, you know, little plastic container tub and shit. But it was like gray, and it was tin, I think. Yeah, like a little one. Kind of like, damn, I don't think, trying to make it, trying to get to where y'all can understand. But anyway, it's like a container. You know, like shit that you put like supplies and shit, or clothes and shit like that. It was one of them, and we used to have to go across the street because it was an old lady by the name of Miss Katie, a wonderful, like she's a great person, a good person. And she used to let us, we used to go out there with jugs and shit and get water. She used to let us use her water and shit like that and shit. Bro, it was fucked up, bro. I didn't have to go through that shit, but the way my mom you know how women are and shit like that. I had a dad, he was in my life, he tried whatever in his power to just like, let me get him, we'll take care of him. Because I used to stay with my dad and stuff when I was in elementary school, like kindergarten through third grade. And then my mom met my brother's dad, and she took me from my father, and she fucked my life up. I'm going to be honest. But hey, it made me the man I'm in today. So, hey, I'm too much scared. But I done been through a lot of fucked up shit, bro. I done got fucking tortured as a kid, man. Bro, nobody in my family cares about me, man, at all. Now they act like they do because I'm older and I done adapt to just staying to myself and staying away from people. I don't be around my family. I don't block everybody's number in my phone besides my auntie and my mom and my sister, and deleted their number out my phone. I promise you, man. This shit is like, bro, I done been through real shit. It felt like, bro, at one point in time, like, no, actually now, my life was like, I don't know, bro. Like, it was like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's like they aware about me. Like, bro, I swear to God, I went through the fucking worst as a kid. Now I done got it to the point where I can like separate myself. I don't have to deal with people and shit like that because I'm not a kid. You know what I mean? I'm 23 years old. So it just shows that, like, bro, all this shit is a big ass. This is a long ass video game for them. Like, this shit is the longest video game in a world game. Like, this shit is crazy.
The problem is you think this is about justice, and it's not about justice. It's about mitigating damage. Take the deal. So I took the deal.
In retrospect, did you do the right thing?
Yeah.
You should have taken the deal.
I had 5 kids.
You should have taken the deal.
Absolutely.
Because?
You can't win. They have a literally unlimited budget. They charged me in a federal court where no national security defendant has ever won a case. And overall, the DOJ, according to ProPublica, wins 98.2% of its cases.
Damn!
That's crazy. And most Americans don't know that.
Yeah. You don't have a chance.
And so what was prison like for you, for a former CIA officer?
Groundhog Day. I was lucky in that I used my CIA training to stay safe. I made strategic alliances from the minute I walked through the door.
Was there a chance you would not have been safe?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
People are generally pretty stupid in prison. And CIA, FBI, you're all cops to them. And if you're a cop, you're going to get a beat down.
So you get out and you're a normal, healthy person, or?
No, you know, this is the thing about being released from prison. You think you can step back into your life again, and you can't. Your life is never going to be the same.
Because?
Because you're not the same. You know, everybody comes out of prison with PTSD. Everybody. I can't tell you how many times I woke up in the middle of the night having the same dream that it's count time and I find myself outside the prison and I have to figure out how to get back in to be in my bunk in time for count time or they're going to send me to solitary. Shit. And I can't figure out how to get back inside. I had a dream for 2 years after I got out. But then, you know, it wears off and you start thinking about patching together a career, and my marriage didn't survive it. But yeah, me too. Thank you. Yeah. But
who are you today?
You know, I like who I am. I'm not perfect. I can be a judgmental asshole. But on this one issue, I was right and they were wrong. The director of counterterrorism at the CIA, the night before I went to prison, tweeted at me. And he said, "Don't drop the soap, ha ha ha," with a laughing emoji.
He tweeted that?
Huh? And I gave myself an hour or two to calm down. And then I tweeted back at him and I said, Jose, I am on the right side of history and you are not. And then I went to prison the next morning.
Is it the pressure of, because people like me only get to see it on TV or in the movies.
Yeah.
Is that job that pressurized, meaning that if as a couple you hadn't had the kind of heavy duty job you had, could you guys have worked through it? Or does that job do such damage to marriages and then you also it shakes your emotions so that when you do come to a mountain like that, you can't get over it?
No, that's a good question. And I'll answer it by telling you a story. So when I was in Pakistan, I was the chief of counterterrorism operations. Extraordinarily high stress, high threat job. And the hours were ridiculous. Like if you worked only 12 hours a day, people would want to know, you feeling okay? Like what's the problem, right? So I would get in around 7 in the morning thinking I'm going to work until 8 or 9 anyway. So I'd get in at 7 in the morning. We had something called a trunk line where the unclassified phones in the office were connected to a Washington exchange. So even though I'm in Pakistan, I've got a 202 number and I can dial a 202 number like a local call. So I would get in before everybody else and I would always call my then girlfriend, my post-divorce girlfriend, who became my second wife. She was a senior CIA officer. So,
do they actually like that? I know for sure they be thanging each other and like in these industries. Like, whoa, that shit crazy. Like, I just can't mix pleasure with business because from like just seeing people that do that shit fuck up a lot of shit. And everybody point, we know this by now, everybody love to point fingers at the man, you know what I'm saying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Would always end our conversations by saying, okay, love you, mwah, and hang up. Yeah. And one of the old timers, there were 7 old men who worked for me. They were all like very senior intelligence service level officers. All of them had been at least director of Near Eastern operations. One of them had been the deputy director of the CIA. And they all volunteered to come back as contractors after 9/11 just for patriotic reasons. But if you're a contractor, you can't have a management position. So they worked for me, which is...
That must have been interesting.
I learned more from those guys in 6 months than I learned in the rest of the entirety of my career. But anyway, one of them heard me finish the call and hang up. And he says, so, are there wedding bells in the future? And I said, oh, I don't know. I just got divorced and I'm kind of afraid of being a 2-time loser. And he says, 2-time loser? Jim, how many times have you been married? He says, 4 for me. Dave, how many times have you been married? I got 5. Dang. Bill, how many times have you been married? 3. And he says, and I got 4. Don't worry about being a 2-time loser. It comes with the job. Well, the truth is that the CIA has the highest divorce rate.
Like, bro, how the fuck do you get married that many times, though? That's how you know it's these women. Because you gotta understand, when you are an important man and you have an important job to take care of, not even a job, an important career, because that's what this is. Your woman started, oh, you don't have time for me. Come on, don't do that shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm taking care of shit. It's just, I'm trying to make sure we good so we won't be fucked up. You know how that turned out when a man is down on his dick. It's raps. It's raps. So all that spending time and giving her attention, bro, that shit, I'm going to tell you right now, that shit, bro, you don't got to do that shit, bro. You got to focus on you. You got shit to do. You come first. Bro, I'm telling you right now. You come first. Put yourself first. Put you first. Put you first. Don't put Yao. It ain't no Yao because she would never do that for you. I don't give a fuck if it is your wife. She's going to put herself first. She's thinking for herself. Even when y'all got kids. It's facts.
In all of government, because you are trained to lie, and you lie all day, every day. And a lot of guys can't turn it off when they go home at night. Bob Kennedy told me a story that just sticks right here in the front of my head. He said on November 22nd, 1963, that terrible day, his mother picked him up from school early. He was in 6th or 7th grade. She picked him up from school early and brought him back home. They lived in McLean, Virginia at a house that they called Hickory Hill. So the Kennedys were very, very close to the CIA director and his wife, John McCone. And Mrs. McCone had died of breast cancer 6 months earlier. And the Kennedys were worried about Director McCone. They were worried that he was going to harm himself. And so they invited him to dinner every single night, 7 days a week. And after dinner, he and Bobby Kennedy Sr. would go for a swim. So when Bob Jr. and his mom get to the house, he said he got out of the car. His dad and Director McCone were standing in the driveway. And when he walked past them, he heard his father say, "Tell me your people didn't do this." And McCone said, "I don't know who did it." He didn't say, "Of course my people didn't do it." He said, "I don't know who did it." And I think that with what we know now, I think it's safe to assume that there were elements of the CIA. It was not an official, formal CIA policy, XV, kill the president. I think that there were elements of the CIA that were probably involved. And I'll add one other thing. When I was stationed in Pakistan, the oldest of the old timers that I worked with was this legendary officer. To tell you the truth, when I got there, I didn't get his last name. So I only called him Gene. "Hi, John, this is Gene. Gene, this is John." I said, "Hi, Gene, nice to know you. Good to work with you." And I was there for weeks until somebody said, I asked a question and somebody said, "Ask Gately." I said, "Who's Gately?" "Gene." I said, "Gene is Gene Gately?" He said, "Yeah, who'd you think he was?" I said, "The commander of the Bay of Pigs operation is working for me."
What the fuck?
And he said, "Yeah." So we all lived in the same guest house. It was a very small guest house. So we would have breakfast together, go to the
I
office.
learned about like CIA and shit because of like video games, to be honest. I learned how they operate off of video games. It went from video games to movies, and then I started seeing people talk about like the system and shit. Then I just put two and two together, and I just okay, this shit is a video game. You see what I'm saying?
Let's have dinner
They can
together.
do whatever they
So I
want.
went up to him and I
They
said,
can break every law
"You're
in
Gene
the
Gately?
world. Gang.
You commanded the Bay of Pigs?" And he says to me, "Fucking Kennedy, we could have won that thing." And that was the very first time I ever saw that flash of anger. And I thought, oh, I understand 1963.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein, he was a spy?
Yes.
Say more.
I don't know. I think there's not a ton of evidence, obviously, but I know he was close with who Barack was visiting him a lot. Just Prince Andrew. He was involved with every country. Why would he not be a spy? And he was involved with just all the elites, politicians. He didn't even really have qualifications or anything for that, really. So I think it was definitely some level of spy. And
to be honest, the nigga just basically pop up out the blue, and he's the rich. The nigga was a teacher and shit. I guess he was. Well, that's what they say. Well, he was, but eventually the nigga just got so fucking rich. And it's like, where did he come from? What did he do to earn the shit that he got? What did he do? What is he doing for y'all to protect him? If he was a sex offender before and y'all know that this man was a sex offender and y'all, they let him out and he's continuing to do the shit that he's doing, okay, the gig is up. He's working for somebody. He's doing something for somebody. Y'all just paying him a lot of fucking money. It's up. Cat out the bag. The cat is out the bag. Niggas know what's up now. Because that's strange to me. Because if you go back and look on his life history or what, it don't add up for him to be this. You know what? The nigga he didn't have no bosses, nothing. Like the nigga just literally popped up with multi-billions of fucking dollars. Shit. And all of a sudden, he have a private island to where he can go and be there and do whatever he wants. Like they don't have, and he's friends, like he's cool with the most powerful motherfuckers on planet Earth. Like who control everything in this, like, okay. Some smell a little bit, some smell sour. And I don't know where it's coming from, but I can smell it. You see what I'm saying? Some up. The gig is up. Y'all gotta say something. Bro, they do shit like that, bro. They will pull somebody from wherever they at if they willing to work for them, and they will give them whatever they want. They have a limited budget. They have unlimited access. Bro, come on. They will give you your own island, gang. It will let you own half of the fucking properties in fucking America or in any other country. They will do that just so you can do stuff for them. You cater, you ever heard this? You cater to me, I cater to you. That's really what it was. He was doing a whole bunch of shit. Why do you think he had them at that island doing that shit, man? Bro, come on, bro. He was building a big ass case. Even though he's a sick motherfucker, he's still, like, bro, bro, it's more to the story than what anybody thinks.
And
I'm just saying.
Maxwell's father, worked for.
I'm just saying. It's more to the story.
All right, what about Epstein? What do you think about Epstein?
I believe very strongly that he was an Israeli access agent.
Did he work for the CIA?
No way.
Hell no.
Why do you say no way?
To spy on whom? The CIA's job is to collect foreign intelligence. What foreign intelligence did he have? He's spying on Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and Prince Andrew. That's the Israelis.
Did he commit suicide?
I believe he did.
You really believe he did?
People don't realize that in the Bureau of Prisons, everybody has his head up his ass. The cameras never work. The guards are always sound asleep. This happens all the time. These suicides, they happen like literally every day in American prisons. Every day. When the only qualifications to be a prison guard are you have to be working on a GED or better and no felony convictions, you get what you pay for.
Last question. Are you a good liar?
I think I am a good liar, yeah.
Why?
Why am I a good liar? Because deep down, I believe we're the good guys. And lying in service of my country was something that I became good at.
Hey guys, it's Carlos Watson. Thank you so much for helping me build.
Okay, chat. We got some more shit. We got